Alright, hello everyone, what's up? Just gonna go ahead and cover a short synopsis on Ethereum and what I've kind of been eyeing with Ethereum too. So I'm currently in a position right now. I am pointing towards the downside, but I do have a couple clear invalidations for the upside as well where I can potentially flip long. So just to start off with here on the monthly, always start the monthly to start, always go large time frames to small. And you can see how we've kind of held this level so far. We back tested it and we're on the support there. And when you zoom out a little bit, you do look like you're forming a massive hidden bullish divergence, so it doesn't matter as long as you're above like 100 bucks on this thing. But when you really break it down, what I would be eyeing is us holding this level on the weekly level here, which is around, let's go ahead and get this zoomed in real quick just to be specific here. Let's get the magnet on. Let's throw this ray right here, which is like your 1215 level on the weekly. So you have that weekly level there as well that you have to watch out for. And if you move it to the top of the candlesticks here, where it lines up here, you get in that 1225. So that's ultimately the level I'd be looking at. When you go down to the daily, so this is where I get down to the nitty gritty here. I had this Gartley that was a support a while ago at the 786 here. So this pattern completes at the 786, which is right here, right where this line lined up with that weekly level that I was eyeing. So I know this was once a support where you can see one tap, two tap, send, right? And now you can see it was a resistance, then it flipped, right? You had an SR flip back into support, tapped, and then you fell through. And now it's resistance, resistance. And now we got to see, are we going to SR flip this and turn it into support, or are we going to stay bearish? So I would be looking for a flip above, get the retest, look for the long on the retest, take the long on the retest for a bullish move up. And from there, I do have a potential harmonic that will be looking for these levels up here. Hold on, I'm going to fix that and that. And let me get rid of all these circles real quick. So I want to see a clear SR flip of this level, like we've seen in the past. And then I could be looking for your 886 targets, potentially for this harmonic up here. And then this is where I would be looking for another short. And I can always fib from low to high here, right? Or high to low. And just see a couple targets to see if we start to look weak around some of these Fibonacci numbers when we move up. And you can see right now, we're currently at the 236. If I remove this line right here, you can see we're actually at the 236, kind of rejecting off of it now with the candle bodies on the daily. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with Ethereum. I have to see acceptance above that 225 to 230 area. And then ultimately, if you want to look at your pattern traders, for your pattern traders, what I'm seeing is you have this triangle here. You had a basically like a fake out over here, like a deviation of it. So for pattern traders, this is what most of them are seeing right now. Or they could potentially be having this line just directly up here, right? But I think this was like a failed breakout. You got a touch point, you got another touch point here. And then you have your support and resistance right here. So ultimately, this is a really big area, right, that you want to see flip here. So if you see this flip and hold, it's looking pretty good, man, for more upside. So that's what I'm looking for. In the meantime, I mean, this thing could just fall out, right? Like right from under you. When you're looking at the MACD, RSI, and everything on this, when you go up to like the 3-day, you have massive bearish convergence forming, just massive. Looks like the thing wants to fall off a cliff. And then when you even go down to like the 4 hour here, anything below, so this is another reason that that level is so significant here on the 1230 area, is because on the lower time frames, let me get rid of this Stoch. You have a potential bearish harmonic as well. It's a bearish bat, so you have your 0.5 area and then your 886, which is that 1227 that we're talking about. So you have this bearish harmonic here, and then on top of that, if you look at your MACD, you can see how momentum is still going up, right? But price has not passed this X. So you have this, and you're basically building a hidden bearish divergence, which means continuation to the downside if you can't get past this X. So this X is where you have to pass. If you're going to take a short, you can place a stop loss right there with some minimum risk. But you have to get past that, because if not, you have a hidden bearish divergence here, which means continuation to the downside on the 4 hour. And then you also have this 4 hour kind of looking like you got like a, just like maybe like a rising wedge or something here, or just a parallel channel. And then if this starts to break out on the downside, man, this thing's gonna roll right over. So be careful with that. And then on the daily, you can see the RSI is still below the 50-yard line. So as you can see, if you get above those levels I was talking about, this will probably be above the 50. So bulls will be in control. You're going to be broken out of this horizontal resistance and the diagonal resistance. So as long as you find support and acceptance over that, you can look for a farther move up to that area I was looking for. First step might be this small one here. And that would be around 1328, 1330. So that's another area to look out for. And then I'll post another video if we do break out here. I would look for price to go up here if we break out, maybe get a retest off the D point, come back, find the support there. And then you can always look for longs here depending on how we look. So on the retest of the point down here, once you break out, is a good spot to look. But look for a move to 1328 if we break out and flip 1230 area into support. Another thing that I want to look at right before I get off, this is actually kind of scary when you're looking at ETH. Let me just remove everything on this and, oh, not my indicators, and start fresh here. So if you look back all the way on ETH historically, let's zoom in here to this price action. So we had basically what we had in 2022 here. We're nuking in 2018. And then we had a bear market rally, right? So from bottom to top of this, we had 128% move, give or take. All right, same thing, bear market rally, right? With the ETH merge, we had 130%, so 2% off. So if you were to just look back on historical price action, you could see that that was about 128% was about how far you were going to pump based on the historical price action. We got 2% more. So what that tells me is, what if price action continues? History likes to repeat itself. A lot of these algos are the same algos still trading, even though when you use a bar pattern, it's never going to be the same people trading at the same exact time with the same amount of size or anything like that. So you have to use these with just to kind of understand how price can behave, and you can't base everything off of it. But if you take the fractal of this area down here, back in May 18 all the way down to about January, and lay it over current price action at the top there. So let's get this all laid over. And about line it up. So you want to get your top up here lined up. So you can basically see that, like, based on history, this would be an area that you would fall off a cliff as well. So I gotta see that level 12, what was it, 1230 ish taken. If that doesn't get taken, then this could be what you're looking for, man. You could be falling out of the triangle that we had and just completely nuking through this. And you can actually look when you zoom in how it would play out, man. So you'd have this just bang off this and then just fall right after, man. We could just potentially just wake up in the next few days and ETH be at like $1,000, and then a week or two it'd be at like $700. It'd be brutal. So this is something to watch out for, man. Especially if you can't just break past those levels. I mean, this is a significant resistance that you're dealing with over here. So keep an eye out on this. And let me know in the comments if there's anything that you guys see that maybe I don't, and I can go over it as well. But it's brutal, man. This exact fractal, I mean, it lines up almost perfect with the 1618 that I have of the Gartley pattern too. So this is what I was keeping a close eye on. So we have a 786 here, very close to the 786. If I can get it to stick right here. And then you would take the 1618 for this for a butterfly pattern. And look what happens when you find that 1618. Mark it off. About $380 ETH. And when you line it up back, I mean, look at how great this resistance or support is here. It's just like you got touch point here, touch point here, touch point here, touch point here. It's a significant level. You have another one here. Look what happens when this flipped this level and found support at it. Just massive upwards. So that would be an area to watch out for, man. It's definitely possible. Don't say it can't happen, because it definitely can happen. But this is what I'd be looking for, man. You got to see this deviate. You want to see price breakout, or history is going to repeat itself. You got to see this price breakout here. If you don't see price breakout here, then I don't know, man. This is going to the gulag. There's nothing you can do about it. So that's kind of my synopsis on ETH. Very important levels, like I said, to watch out for. And if they do break those levels to the upwards, I'll start looking at some more upwards targets. But in the meantime, that 13, I think it was like 28 that I was looking at, 1330, and then the 1600-ish level as well. And those will be some of the levels, along with like the 1422, I think it is, which is previous all-time high over here. So those three levels would be the three levels on the upside I would be looking out for if we do break past 1230 and hold it as support. And that's it. Thanks, guys.